So now that the tiles are set, I'm ready to grout. But before I grout, I have to put on my rubber gloves. Because when I went to get a manicure the other day, he said, please wear gloves when you're working. And I said, I do wear gloves, but obviously the gloves that I was wearing weren't good enough. So I went to the dollar store, got these ones, and they even say, careful, my nails. So I thought, if I'm going to go and get myself a pair of rubber gloves, why not be pink with a little sparkle? Here comes Mommy.
This is definitely my biggest renovation yet. Am I breaking the whole house? Be careful.
Who the heck is this woman?
I'm Rebekah Higgs, and I renovate homes. I didn't really know what I was doing when I started, and sometimes I still don't.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
But with the help of my trusty crew,
This is the kind of house that's a big puzzle.
Stuff has got done, Rebekah.
my loving and patient family,
You can even do it in a dress.
It's money, right?
I know there's never a dull moment.
What?
When you're a DIY mom. When I was doing my research on 1950s style, 3 words kept popping up to me: pastel, Scandinavian, and mid-century modern. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do to incorporate that stuff into my new home design. And this season, I want to do something completely different from what I've done in the past. That means I'm going to stay away from black and white as much as possible and incorporate those pastel colors and wood tones into the new design of my home. So I've got all of my inspiration laid out in front of me, color palette, photographs of what I love, my new kitchen design, the old cabinets and how we're going to stain them, different tile samples, and things from around my house that speak to that 1950s style. So like this Fiesta water jug and peppermints. There's something about peppermints that like brings me back to my grandmother and like that 1950s era of the homes. I'm gonna take all these design, inspiration things, create a mood board, store them up in my mind, and then after we finish demolition, I can start to incorporate them into the design of my bungalow. Now the trick to this whole thing is gonna be to not do too much. I've got a lot of color and a lot of ideas, but somehow it all has to come together and make sense and not overpower the space. In the 50s, pink bathrooms were all the mid-century modern rage. Pink tiles, pink bathtubs, pink sinks, even pink toilets. While that style has inspired my vision for this pink powder room, it's a little too matchy-matchy, so I'm gonna give it a modern update. This space used to be both a laundry room and an accessible bathroom. I'm changing the space to have a welcoming powder room and mudroom, which will have storage for all the things you want tucked away or on display when guests come over. Thank goodness it's all gone. I love a blank canvas. But we really need a place to pee, and we might as well make it pretty. John said he wouldn't be able to install the toilet until all the tile was in, so that means I had to pull up my DIY gloves and get it done myself. In my basket of bathroom goodies, I have pink tile, a teak vanity, gold wall-mounted Delta faucets, and mid-sea sconces, but I need a little something extra. While the drywall gets hung, I'm off to run my design errands. I've gone to Bellissimo, my favorite local textile shop, to grab some wallpaper samples I can bring back to the space. Personally, I like to bring all the samples with me to the space to see it in the room. I want to do a fair amount of wallpaper in different rooms, so I'm just making sure that I get that order in as soon as possible so I can get to work hanging it. The fantastic thing about renovating a small space like a guest bath is that you can take some liberties when it comes to design. Your cost won't be as high, and you can splurge on luxurious, unique design elements like tile. And since there's not that much space to screw up, you can even try doing it yourself. I'm doing a beautiful shade of pink in my powder room. It's gonna be really poppin'. I've decided to do the tiles stacked vertically, and it'll go all the way around the circumference of the powder room. So it's gonna be quite a statement in here. So as I get the mortar up on the wall, I have a little bit of time to play around to get the spacing right. It takes some patience, but if you're like me, like to make sure the space is exactly perfect, I get a lot of satisfaction out of doing things myself. There's a lot of walls and renovations.
If you like the way that looks, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'll get it the way I like. That's right. I always get it the way I want. Tiling is all about patience and getting it done right the first time. And then I need to get my spacing correct, and I'm just using the size of the wall here to figure out my spacing. So as long as I can fit a tile in at the end, then I should be good. Let's see.
You take your sponge. This piece of wood is just here temporarily while this tile sets up, and then I can work up above it and work down below it and continue that stacked line. I just wanted this line to be level on the top of the vanity. When we move the vanity back in, the countertop will go perfectly right under here.
Also, thanks to careful measuring, my Scandinavian-inspired teak vanity fits perfectly with the tile, which is a huge relief. Speaking of relief, I wish I could say the same about the toilet situation.
John has a great idea to make the toilet look nice and clean and solid by not having any exterior valves on it. That means the valve is behind the toilet. Once the toilet is installed, it makes it a little trickier to reach for the valve to turn the toilet on. So John tried, and he asked for a smaller hand, so Julie tried.
If I would have known there was tile on the wall, I would have took the toilet out a little bit further.
Here,
So I could stick my hand in there.
Yeah, it is.
My hand is so squeezed.
You knew there was tile going on as well.
Not on that one.
Then I tried, and I don't know if it was just the way that I was able to maneuver my little hand in there or my sheer grit and determination to turn the valve on, but I did get the valve on. I might end up with a little bruise on my hand, but I did get the valve on. Oh, I think I found it.
Just because Menace.
Yeah, I got it.
Good stuff. Oh, look at that. She's got it. Sweet.
By George, she's got it.
Leave it to DIY mom to flush out the problem at hand. My Bellissimo order came through in record time. And how cute is this pink and gold palm tree wallpaper? A small bathroom is the perfect place for a little tropical elegance. Make sure you measure twice so you only have to stick once. Take it from an expert. You don't want to have to start over and risk ruining everything. After installing the Delta Gold faucets and the marvelous Mitzi light fixtures, any guest is going to feel like number one in here, and not number two. I completed the pink powder room before I started on the mudroom right off the entry, so I kind of put the cart before the horse, but we really did need somewhere to pee, inside. So now for the mudroom. Storage is the #1 priority, but custom cupboards and closets can be crazy expensive. So I'm starting with some affordable off-the-rack cabinets from IKEA.
Gonna be a great area for getting everything that we have in the house out of the way, but also very functional and usable when you have little kids coming in and out, especially in the winter time when there's lots of snow and salt being dragged into your house. This is extra cherry wood that we have from the kitchen, the old kitchen, that we're gonna reuse in here to create our bench, and we're gonna have a big barn door here. So this is just gonna be a very functional space, but it's still gonna look cool and it's gonna tie into the rest of the house well.
Because I already have barn door hardware laying around, I mean, who doesn't, right? I got the look I wanted with one inexpensive can of gold spray paint. Paw prints were not the look I was going for.
I had this idea to kind of make a barn door entrance into the mudroom, but the barn door would also be a piece of art that's on the wall. But I really want it to be mid-century modern, and barn doors typically aren't very mid-century modern. It's much more of a farmhouse look. In order to nail that mid-century modern accent, I just have to be a little bit specific about the details.
For my barn door project, we are using leftover wood from the renovation, and I am determined for it to not be farmhouse feeling. But that means that the oak strips for the timbre effect need to be just right. Like every other project around here, we're just short of the material we need to finish.
It's close, but it's just not quite what I was hoping. Tighter space is more mid-century modern than like a bigger space. It's like such a fine line between farmhouse and mid-century modern, and like you just don't want to be, I just don't want to be farmhouse.
Julie says we don't have enough oak, but I feel like I saw some.
Yeah, are you sure there's no oak hiding somewhere? I feel like there's extra wood somewhere.
Let's go hunt. Let's go and hunt in your room.
But what's
Pretty
this?
funny. Oh! What is this hiding?
Is it the right thickness?
We found some wood. We found some wood. We're gonna cut some wood. We're gonna cut some wood.
We buried the hardware into the oak doors for a flush look to give the barn door a more modern feel. I have a sneaking suspicion timbre is about to become my new design bestie. And straight across from the sliding door is the entrance to my office, or in the latest real estate lingo, flex space, complete with a custom glass wall because most importantly, I did not want to block the view or any light from spilling throughout this house. The custom milled white oak from East Coast Specialty Hardwood holds this glass perfectly for an unforgettable floor-to-ceiling finish. And Julie even got to try her hand at an art form she's been dying to try her entire woodworking career, steam bending.
We just finished the arches. This was my first time steam bending, something I wanted to do for 20 years. And this is the form. This is it up. And I like the form so much, I want to take it home. So I'm gonna take it home.
Textured wallpaper, check. Europhase light, double check. And vintage guitars, are you kidding me? This room is a musical masterpiece. So that's a wrap on the powder room, mudroom, and an entranceway office flex space. I did want guests to feel relaxed and welcome when they come through the door, but I wouldn't mind if their jaws dropped a little too. If your space needs that something extra, head over to my website or Instagram at diymom.ca. The next episode of DIY Mom starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,